Arizona, where it is 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure for some of you it's evening. It might even for some of you be tomorrow. I don't know. So a few words about myself. I'm a Montessori parent, although now my Montessori children are all in their 40s. That's how old I am. I'm also a Montessori teacher, although it's been decades since I've been in the classroom on a daily basis. And I'm also a Montessori school principal, although I'm retired. I've been retired for 2 years. And in today's context, most importantly, I'm a member of the Lead Montessori team. So in Lead Montessori and in a lot of my work internationally, I work with heads of school for a couple reasons. One, it's a hard job. Number two, most heads of school feel kind of alone and isolated. And number three, most heads of school feel like they need to discuss issues with other people who understand. Now, can't the same things be said about parents? Don't you feel alone and isolated? Don't you have hard jobs, probably the hardest job? And don't you feel the need to discuss your issues with other people who will understand? And that's a lot about what today is for. So in a few minutes, we're gonna watch just a few minutes of the video that was created by NAMTA long ago called Edison's Day. It's available for free viewing this month of April. And you might say, well, that's really about a toddler. And yes, that focus is going to be on the young child. That's for two reasons. One, I assume that most of you have at least experience with young children, if not probably one or two young children at home. And even if you don't, the Montessori principles and attitudes, I think, are more visible and apparent when you're looking at young children. And so we're going to try to extract from that little bit of video what some of those attitudes and principles are, and then talk about how you can apply it to different ages. So I have a few goals for today. One is that you, at the end of this conversation, at the end of this hour, you feel less alone, and that you learn a few basic principles, and that you're inspired to make one or two changes in your home or try out one or two new activities with your child. And as a result, maybe start seeing your child in a slightly different way. Okay, Sveta, start the video.
No. Go get your rain stick. No. 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 No.
Snail.
No.
Snail. Let's go in.
Damn. Blah, 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 blah.
Our home is set up so that Edison has access to all the things he needs. He knows how to set the table, to clear the table, take care of the cat, water the plants, and he knows how to get dressed. At home, we hope that he feels confident and independent and caring for himself and for our home environment. As his parents, we offer him help or encouragement if he needs it. We're also there to show him how to do it, which sometimes means doing it for him. And the amount of support he needs can vary from day to day.
Reach. No wow. No wow.
He doesn't have any water.
Mom. Dad.
Can you be gentle and
Okay.
Son.
Where are your cheeks? There they are. And my cheeks. Hair. Where's your hair?
Dada.
Yeah, Daddy has hair too. Do you like peanut butter? I love you. You pick out a pair of shorts?
We work to be as consistent as possible with our daily routines. This lets Edison know what to expect and he can prepare himself for the transitions. Consistency in our home environment also allows Edison to know where he can find the materials he needs. He's developed a strong trust in our home, and that helps him to trust the world beyond. I think this was most clear when he started school and didn't seem to have any separation anxiety.
You got it. You need some help? Pull it down in the back. Hi.
Apples.
Oops. Can I help you with that one? Okay. Pull your arm back through. There you go. Pull it down.
There.
Pull it down right here.
Up. Up. Up.
Pull it down.
Close.
Your clothes, yes. Can you reach around back and pull it down? Okay, fold them down a little bit. Does it look good?
Arm in first. Okay. Right. Do you want to wear a hat to school today?
Bye.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sveta. Usually at this time, I've shown that just first 8 minutes of that film 10 years in a row to every new parent at Montessori in Redlands, California. And after showing them the video, I always ask them what stood out for them and invite their comments. And invariably, the first comment is, the parents are so unrushed. They're not in a hurry. They have this gift of time. And I always say that if I could ever give a gift to every parent I know, it would be the gift of time. Well, guess what? In the current pandemic, as hard as it is, we have that gift right now, many of us. And I would encourage you to find ways to explore the use of that time with your children and to continue doing that once you go back to your busy lives and your jobs and so forth. And I like to say that we have a saying in English that you make time for something. And I really believe that. I think that if time with your child is a priority, you'll find a way to make that time. So a few slides that I made from the movie as still shots and a few quotes that will give us some things to talk about in terms of some Montessori principles. As James, the father, says, our home is set up so that Edison has access to all the things he needs. Access is really important. So you'll probably notice that in almost every room in the house, there is a little low shelf that has Edison's things on it. And we actually called this morning's topic, One Shelf at a Time. So if you haven't already done this and you have a young child, I would encourage you to start small, but start with one shelf and find things that you can put on that shelf that your child will have access to so that he can become more involved with the daily life of the family and also the toys and so forth. But please be conscious of limiting the number of things. Shelves have certain advantages. One is that everything on the shelf is visible all the time. So for especially a young child, they can see what they want to choose and what they want to work with. It's important though to limit the number of things because it can be overwhelming if you have too many things to choose from. So my rule of thumb is if you're going to have, let's say, 6 things on a shelf, make it 6 different kinds of things and watch how your child is operating. And over time, let's say you put a puzzle and bead stringing and a practical life activity and an art activity all on that shelf. As time goes on, you'll see that one of those activities is in constant use and others become unpopular with your child. So that's the time to remove that activity and put something new that's a little bit more challenging and difficult. And by doing that, you're helping your child make progress forward, also helping them develop their concentration. And you also have a sense of partnership with them as they progress forward in their development. And again, you'll notice in most every room in their house, there is some area that is Edison's. Here's the living room. He has a little art area, a bookshelf. So you may say, well, that's all very good for a toddler or a 3-year-old, but I have a 9-year-old at home. Well, if you want that 9-year-old to, when they're an adolescent, to be out of their room and actually having exchanges and conversation with the rest of the family, now is a good time to start setting aside some space in your family room, your kitchen, and so forth for some of those elementary students' belongings. So you probably have a bookshelf with your books in the living room. Why not empty one of those shelves and allow your 9-year-old to bring some of his books out there and put it on that shelf? I hope you understand what I'm saying. James at one point in the movie says, we like to think that we live with Edison, not around him. And if you think about it, most of our home environments are set up strictly and exclusively for adults. What I'm suggesting is not that you try to recreate the Montessori classroom in your home or that you make it a children's house. That's what a Montessori classroom is for. But instead that you start thinking about how you can make your child feel included and have some tools to use in all of the commonly used spaces in your home. He has access to water. Did you notice the moment where he notices that the cat has no water and he says, no wawa? And he has the tools. He goes over and fills up this little pitcher and feeds the cat and fills up his water dish. That's an executive functioning skill. To notice something, create a plan, follow through and execute that plan. And if you research executive functioning skills, you'll find it's the leading indicator of success in career, in life, even in health and family. Access also means that things should be the right height for your child, or he or she should have access to things that are higher. So having a little platform in the kitchen, having a little platform at the bathroom sink, having a way for him to get up to the dining table with everybody else. These are all common sense things, but if you haven't done it already, please do so now. James says he knows how to set the table, clear the table, take care of the cat, water the plants. There are hundreds of things that your child could be doing to participate in the life of the home, probably that he or she is not doing right now. One of the ways we like to express love is by doing things for our children. But we rarely stop to think that when we're doing that, we're taking over for them and limiting their natural impulse to contribute to the family. So the more things that the child can do to be part of the home and to actually help out at home, the better. Now that changes as the child gets older too. For the young child, like Edison, all of those activities that he wants to do for the activity itself. And he feels compelled by his very nature to do it. But an elementary child, for example, is a different kind of an animal. He's very social and he has a reasoning mind. So if you want to involve the elementary child in real things at home that are actually going to make a difference and help you out, appeal to that reasoning mind. Have a family meeting, sit down and make a list of all the things that need to be done practically in the home every week for the family to function, and then put a name beside each one. Who is currently doing each of those activities? I think you'll find that usually the mom in the household is doing 99% of them. Then you can appeal to their sense of fairness. Is that fair? No, it's not. So what are some of those activities that you would like to take on? And then let's find you the tools you need to be able to do that activity. And you'll find that it changes not only your child's attitude towards the family and towards you, you're no longer quite as much of a servant as you used to be, but it also has a feeling of empowerment for your child. Adolescents are even more community oriented. So the same, and adolescents can literally do anything that an adult can do. He knows how to get dressed. I highlight this because as his parents, we offer him help or encouragement if he needs it. But look at how much help. Only the tiniest amount that is needed. So he's struggling to pull up those jeans and she just puts her hand around back and just gives the tiniest tug. So his sense is that he pulled him up. Same with a t-shirt, just a little tug on the back. Same with the socks. Children are passionate about this. Let me do it myself. Whether it's spreading the, as he calls it, butter. And by the way, if you have a toddler, don't you wish that they came with subtitles so you could actually understand them all the time? Giving choice is really important in Montessori and in life, but it's not unlimited choice. How many choices does he have of t-shirts? 2. How many choices does he have of shorts? 2. So this takes some forethought. The parent has prepared that the night before. So now he's able to be independent and he's able to make a choice, but it's different than if you just said, Edison, go in your room and decide what you're going to wear today. It might be 30 degrees outside and he might choose to wear shorts and a t-shirt on that day. And then on a day when it's really hot, he might want to wear his snowsuit. So don't give him unlimited choice. Put out some sensible things, and again, prepare ahead of time, and then give him the choice. And that is also encouraging cooperation. If any of you have difficulty getting your child to eat their vegetables or their protein or whatever, think about the power of choice there. Too many of us as parents say to our child, what do you want to have for dinner? That's too broad a choice. So invariably, what they're going to say, if you're my granddaughter, she's going to say, I want chicken nuggets. And she's going to say that every single night. Instead, if you go with your child to the refrigerator or the counter and you say, let's see what we've got. Let's see what vegetables are here. It looks like we have broccoli and we have cauliflower and we have peas. Which one of those three would you like to have for dinner tonight? Doesn't that make sense? The child chooses, I'd like to have peas. Okay, you can carry them to the counter and we have a little platform so you can get up at the counter next to me. I show you how to wash the peas, how to shuck the peas. When it comes time to set the table, your child is participating in that. And when it comes time to carry the bowl of peas to the table for the family to share, the child carries the peas. What do you think he's going to eat for dinner? He might eat nothing but the peas, but I guarantee you that will work. And it just is the power of choice. It's a simple thing, isn't it? Montessori has been called a blinding flash of the obvious. And in so many ways, it's just common sense. Provide the tools that are the right size and weight to allow for success. So would he be able to pour his own milk if he just went to the refrigerator and got a full gallon of milk? You would be talking about a disaster, right? He wouldn't be strong enough. So this parent has thought ahead, gotten a little pitcher, and these days those are available online. You can have it delivered to your house right now. Go to Montessori services and you can find the right thing. And that allows him to be independent. And how does he feel about himself at this moment? It's not all being done for him, he's doing it for himself. We're also there to show him how to do it. So here's a typical Montessori, what we call lesson. The teacher is actually demonstrating in front of the child how to do the trinomial cube. Here's somebody else who did that. Here's Maria Montessori giving a lesson on the geometric cabinet. In a Montessori classroom, as in your home, it can be a demonstration with very little conversation, which takes into account all the steps for success for that one activity. Here I am showing a brand new parent how to dust a table. Look at the little tiny table. So it doesn't really matter that much how you dust a table, but that you have a plan and that your plan takes into account some sort of pattern so the child will be successful, and that you have the materials gathered so the child can know where to have access to the dust cloths and know what to do. And then you simply invite them to a lesson on dusting a table. Remember, it's an invitation. It's not a command. So one of the big differences between adults and children is adults tend to think of work as a four-letter word, a dirty word, something to be avoided. We try to be as efficient as possible and get it over with. And we tend to think of work as something that we have to do. But for your child, it's not something that he has to do, but something that he or she gets to do. And if you don't change that attitude in your own mind before you show a child how to do something, I guarantee it's not going to work. But if instead you're seeing this as a privilege and an exciting opportunity, and you make it an invitation, it changes everything. And what if you show the child how to do it and he doesn't want to do it at that moment? Is that okay? Absolutely. but you've made it available to him, and there will come a time when he wants to do it. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, I have an elementary child at home and they never want to help with anything. I think you have to be sneaky. So think about this scenario. You're in the kitchen and you're maybe preparing dinner or cleaning up, and your child comes in and says, I'm bored. If you start giving them commands of things to do, it's not going to work. If you start trying to fix it for them, it's not going to work. What if instead you just say, well, keep me company for a little while, and then you, in a sneaky way, say, oh, here, would you mind washing the peas while you're right there? Or let me get you something else to do. I mean, I think it's an indirect way, but you can corral them into that activity. But again, it's an invitation, it's not a command. And all of these things apply to all the different stages of development. This is Montessori's famous timeline of human development. We're not going to go into all of those today. We're actually going to finish up right now, but I'm going to remind you of what some of the basic Montessori principles and attitudes are. And I think Montessori is an attitude more than anything else. The adult prepares the environment, including him or herself. So how you look at work is really an important part of your preparing the environment. And you adapt the environment to fit the developing child. What you're going to prepare for the adolescent is going to be different than what you prepare for the toddler. The adult guides, encourages, and connects. The adult has a positive attitude toward work, and the adult is willing to step back and allow room for the child to act. And now we're going to divide you into your small groups. And I have a task for you. It's an invitation. It's not a command, but I think you'll enjoy it. When you're in your small group, please take a minute and introduce yourself, your name, the country you come from, and your child or children's ages. And then think about what is one change you'd like to make in your home environment this week to encourage your child's independence. And or what is one activity in which you'd like to engage your child. And don't overwhelm yourself by making wholesale changes in your home. Choose one thing. Take it on one shelf at a time.